Okay.
Judge Soho came out to say that the name and person mentioned in the application as a Godwin Emefeiele wasn't specified to be the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
And what I really also want to know is plans on how he's going to sensitize people in the grassroots, because it's not about us. We use social media, we see these things, we know about these things. How about people that don't use social, don't even have phones, people in the rural areas? As he make provisions on how they are going to be educated on the importance of these things.
More drama surrounds the CBN cash withdrawal policy. My name is Ade Oyekbo, and with me,
my name is Modukwe Jacobs. Welcome to Trending Stories.
All right, so more drama is actually surrounding the CBN cash withdrawal policy, and it's like we're seeing, more drama
keeps unfolding.
Week by week, keeps unfolding. Now, a federal high court sitting in Abuja has reportedly stopped the Department of State Services from arresting the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefeiele, over allegations bordering on acts of financing terrorism, fraudulent activities, and economic crimes of national security dimension. The DSS had reportedly filed a suit on December 7, 2022, seeking to arrest the CBN governor. Justice J.T. Isoho gave the ruling declining the grant the application for the governor's arrest on December 9, 2022. The suit has State Security Services as the applicant. Refusing to grant the DSS request, the judge said, "In the light of the foregoing reasons, I decline to grant this application ex parte. If the applicants believe that evidence available to it so far is sufficient, then it can as well arrest and detain the applicants, even without the order of the court. If, however, the applicant desires to still pursue this application, then it should place the respondent on notice considering the sensitive public office that he occupies." Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So just a quick background to this, to what's going on. The DSS called for the arrest of the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefeiele, based on the charges mentioned earlier in the story on financing terrorism, fraudulent activities, and economic crimes of national security dimension. That was on December 7th. Now, 2 days after the courts denied said order. I find it interesting that this is just recently kind of been released to the press. That's one thing I find very interesting. Considering that the denial was December 9th, and we just really found out a lot about it, in this week, really. So the court denied the order to arrest Godwin Emefeiele based on two main reasons, from what I could gather from that particular the particular document. The first reason being that there was insufficient evidence to back up the arrest. Secondly, Judge Soho came out to say that the name and person mentioned in the application as a Godwin Emefeiele wasn't specified to be the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. So he essentially told the DSS to come back with sufficient evidence and specify who exactly is Godwin Emefeiele that they're actually referring to, because the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria holds a very sensitive position. Very interesting story, very interesting build-up of events that has been happening since, starting from the announcement of the Naira redesign, to the launch of the Naira redesign, to the announcement of the cash withdrawal policies, and now we're seeing this. Last week we took that the Senate asked the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to appear before them to essentially explain and defend the withdrawal policy. Now we're seeing that the DSS actually filed an application to arrest him, and which the judge and the courts completely overruled. More background into this story: the Coalition of National Interest Defenders have come out in defense of the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, saying that this move by the DSS is essentially being backed by politicians who don't want to see the Naira redesign and cash withdrawal policy go through in Nigeria.
I was telling you the last time we spoke about this, and I was telling you how a lot of people, government officials are not going to be happy about this withdrawal policy thing. They are not going to be happy about it, and it's going to affect a lot of SMEs also, So I can understand the back and forth, because when they've already come out to tell him to appear before them to, have a rethink about the withdrawal policy, and his stance is still no, they would look for other means, Even after Falana came out to say that it was illegal.
Yeah.
I mean,
illegal.
And he showed us, that it was illegal. I think I saw a video on social media where people were not so receptive towards the new Naira note, the redesign of the Naira note. How much sensitization has gone into the public, to resensitize them about the importance of this cash withdrawal policy. Do people actually even know about it?
People even understand it.
People understand it. And I also think that people don't even know about the change in the redesign of the Naira notes. I don't think everyone knows about it, because in the video I saw, it was like a culture shock to some people. They were like, what is this? And what I really also want to know is plans on how he's going to sensitize people on the grassroots, because it's not about us. We use social media, we see these things, we know about these things. How about people that don't use social, don't even have phones, people in the rural areas? As he make provisions on how they are going to be educated on the importance of these things. So I mean, a lot still needs to be done.
Another angle, on the final note on this story, another angle, to this story is that, Justice So actually also stated in the denial letter to the application to arrest Gordon Emefeiele that sufficient evidence is to be provided, and for such an arrest, his boss, as in the governor of the CBN's boss, needs to be aware that they are planning to arrest him. Justice So mentioned that his boss is the president of the of Nigeria. He also further mentioned that it's interesting that Gordon Emefeiele is part of the entourage. Currently with President Buhari for the for the Africa America summit that is going on. So Gordon Emefeiele is part of that entourage. So what that goes to tell me is that President Buhari completely backs everything that the governor of the CBN is doing, and that is why some of the things that he's not doing is not passing through the Senate, but is essentially like an executive order, an executive backing by the president.
All right, you know what I think? It's quite suspicious that even the Minister of Finance is saying that she's not aware of the Naira redesign and, the cash withdrawal policy and what is going on. So I feel like they owe us a lot of explanation. Even if it's been backed up by the president, you owe the nation at large, an explanation as to why you are doing this thing and how it's going to be beneficial to us. Because at the end of the day, we are going to be affected. So we need you to come out and give us the explanation that we deserve. And until that is done, we are still going to be having this back and forth.
That is all we'll be having a look at on this particular story. We're going to keep looking at how it develops. This is Trending Stories.